Hey everyone, it's Jeannie from A1 Vacuum and Sewing, and I am getting ready to prep for Kimberbell's Sweetest Pie. This is their newest bench pillow. What you're going to need is you're going to need your instructions. I have just finished the Sweetest Pie spreadsheet, and I will post this to the Facebook group. You need your fabric kit or whatever other fabric you're going to be using. My process is, number one, I'm going to go ahead and prep and iron all of the fabric. So that's the first thing that I'll do. Next thing I'll do after that is I will go ahead and find all the background pieces, and I will put Shape Flex on the back of the background pieces. So we'll press, we'll cut, and then we'll put Shape Flex on the background pieces. Then we will go ahead and we will cut the batting. So on your spreadsheet will be the batting sizes that you need to cut. So they're going to be the same size as the final size of the square. So all the sizes should be here on the spreadsheet. I just did the spreadsheet. I hope it's perfect, but it might not be. But I'm hoping it's perfect. So we'll go ahead and cut the batting. Once the batting is done, we will go ahead and group everything. And I like to just group mine with just painter's tape and wonder clips, and I will put them all in their groups so that they're ready for us to just stitch. You can just grab your grouping and you'll be set and ready to go. So let's go ahead and get started. First thing I'm going to do, I have my iron on, is you're going to need your iron and you're going to need plenty of best press. Sometimes I need to refill. And we are going to press all our pieces. So let's go ahead and do that first. I love this mat. This is, I think it's 5 feet. I think it's 5 feet. I think it's 60 inches. Or if it's not 5 feet, it is just shy of 5 feet. I'm going to grab our fabric. Sweetest Pie. So cute. I love, they have their new florals in here. And the floral looks like, is that the background? The floral is, I think, the back. That's going to be a big piece. I'm actually going to put that to the side because normally I will piece it all together. I use all my leftover pieces to do the backing. It's nice that they have like a new line. So I'm going to just take these and spread them out, and I'm going to give them a shot of spray. And let the pressing begin. I've been meaning to do this one, and I've been meaning to do Merry Christmas, y'all, but we've been so busy at the shop. We've been doing these incredibly fun sales, but they've been incredibly time-consuming. You know, if you have your fabric and there's a front and a back, I recommend just putting these on the back side just in case. You never know when you have something icky on your iron. Let's just go ahead and do that. And spray. So this is Best Press. And what I love about Best Press is this will stabilize your fabric. So you want to go ahead and Best Press before you cut and before you sew. And that way, when you go to cut, you'll have a more accurate cut because your fabric's not going to move as much. You know how sometimes you are using your ruler and you go up to the top of the ruler and your cutter just kind of makes it go one direction or the other? This will stabilize it. I'd have to put Best Press on my list of top 10. I think Best Press would probably be top 3, right? I mean, top 3. You've got to have Best Press. How can you live without it? I do pay attention to my fabric. So if it's directional, this one's non-directional. Because this will, I'm ironing right now. I'm not pressing, and this will move the fabric. So you want to press it until, I mean, look at this. I'm not even really going for it. When I'd say 90% of the time, I'm just using my Panasonic iron, my Panasonic 360. But when I am doing a lot of ironing, you're just going to press these until they're dry. Then I use my Oliso. And this has been such a lifesaver for me. My Oliso, since, you know, you can just let go of it and it raises up. I was having some shoulder problems because I have this, I still have it. It's in my closet. I have this beautiful Rowenta iron, but it sits on a tank. And so I was lifting it off and putting it on and lifting it off and putting it on. And it was injuring me. It was causing me some pain. So I love my Oliso because I don't have to lift it up and put it down. You can just let go with your hand and it stands up. This is probably going to be pretty fast. So once I'm done with all my fat 16ths, then I'm going to do my fat 8ths, and then I'm going to do my fat quarters. I don't know what's in this fabric pack yet, because I haven't laid it all out, but I think this will be pretty fast. I'm not going to make you sit here and watch me do it all. I'm going to pause it. You keep ironing, and then we will do our cutting. So I'll see you in a little bit. Now all my pieces are prepped and ready to go. So now I'm going to go ahead and cut them as per the instructions. Where did I put the instructions? Here's my batting list. Found them. Okay. If you don't know by now, my special superpower is losing things. And I can tell I'm going to have, okay, so I know some of these, like I know COCR is coconut cream. So, there is a fat quarter, or there should be a fat quarter of coconut cream, which means it's in here, and I didn't press that. So let me go ahead and press that really quickly. I didn't realize that there were other things tucked in this. So I'm going to go give that a press. Let's see what's hiding in here. I thought, oh my goodness, that was like the quickest press I've ever done. So this is for the back. Maybe I'll just actually use this time. Here's my coconut cream, which is like the best, it is the best off-white ever. Just really like it. I guess there's lots of good off-whites. I give it a pretty good dousing. And I love these spray bottles. If you are using Best Press and you are still using it in the spray bottle it came with, you're doing yourself a great disservice, because I found that that spray bottle, whenever I would spray it, it would kind of go, and it would kind of plop wherever. The spray bottles, the misting bottles, give you a more even spray, and they're really, really worth the investment. And you just want to go ahead and press everything until it is dry. There was a lot of directional fabric, I feel like, in this kit. So you want to be careful with your directional fabric. Like with the stripes, you want to press in the direction of the stripes. Don't go opposite, because you will distort your fabric. This kind of stuff doesn't make as big a difference. Okay, now I am done for real this time. I'm going to be using an array of rulers. My favorite rotating mat, which is the Martelli rotating mat. It really, to me, it's the best. And let's see. So they have a layout here. So on page 5, it's going to show you how it recommends you lay out the fabric to cut it. So it's nice to kind of have it on both of those pages, but there is going to be one piece that is going to be, I'm going to move this out of the way for that piece. I have several different cutting mats at my disposal. It wants you to cut that big piece, 4.5 inches by 20 inches. Four and a half by 20. I'm just going to go ahead and take this edge off here. 4.5 by 20. Is it time for me to change this blade? Okay. If I can cut to the ruler, I cut to the ruler. When I am for larger pieces, I will cut to the mat, but for the most part, I cut to the ruler. Feel like you're going to get a more accurate cut than you will cutting to the mat. I want this piece to be nice and straight. How's that? That looks good. There we go. And that was 4.5 by 20.5. Okay, so here is 20.5. And check your numbers twice. 20.5. And this is 4.5. And there we go. Okay, here's my 4.5. And I will save everything to this size. I don't save much smaller than that. So we need a 6.5 by 6.5. I just so happen to have the perfect ruler for that. And now that that one's cut, I'd go rotating that. We're going to go rotating. We need 6.5 by 6.5. By 6.5. We need 6 by 3.5. Let's see what this one is right here. 6 by 3.5. And actually it needs to be 6. Here's this piece, garbage, and then 2.5 by 2.5. So that's going to be 5 by 2.5. We have 4 by 3.5. So why don't we do that first? Let's go over here. We want 2.5 by 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. 2.5. And 4 by, oh, I needed one more of those. So we'll go 2.5 by 2.5, 4 by 3.5. Let's go. There's 3.5, 4. Just like that here. Just seeing where I want it. And 2.5 by 2.5. Two and a half by 2. There we go. So all the cream is cut. And this is left over for me to piece together my back. Or use it. I know a lot of people keep it in their special scrap bin. I'm going to start grabbing from here. These are my fat 16ths. So it looks like this one is 5 by 5. When we cut this kits in the store at this point, I've started cutting them a little bit bigger because sometimes your fabric will distort. So, and I mean, this is much smaller than the 5 by 5. This is your cherry filling, so it's not going to make a difference. We're using this as for applique. And this one here is 2 inches by 4 inches. And this one, 2 inches by 4 inches. Sometimes it makes a difference, like if you're piecing these together. If it's just going to be used for raspberry filling 4 by 2, we don't have to have it perfect. Because by 2. Sometimes I'll just cut this off. It'll make it easier for me to piece it later on. I'll just throw that away. This is my extra over here. This one right here is 5 by 4. Let's see, 5. Take it here. 5 by 4. 5 by 4.5. Looks like it's biggest this way. This is the pretty floral. So 6.5 by 8.5. I wanted to grab my 6.5 by 8.5 inch ruler. This is 6.5. And then after that, we have 3.5, so plenty. 3.5 by 3.5. 3.5 by 3.5, so 3.5 by 7. We'll go this way. Three and a half by 7. All right, this one right here is the fabric right there, so 8.5 by 8.5. I need a big old square ruler. This is why it's nice to have rulers in every size. I highly recommend it. Trying to cut it nice and even. 8.5 by 8.5. And 1.5 by 4. Three and a half by 3.5, which is 3.5 by 3.5, so 3.5 by 7. This way. 3.5 by 7. Here we go. And then this is 4 by 1.5. 1, 2, 3, 4 by 1.5. Okay, I don't want to bore you to tears, so I'm just going to keep on cutting according to my chart, and then we're going to go ahead and attach everything to our, shape flags, our background pieces, and I'll show you how to pick those out. I'll see you in a little bit. Okay, so I have cut all my pieces. The next thing we are going to do is, and I did have one miscut. So, fortunately, I can run to the store and get another piece of fabric, but it was irreparable. Can't fix it. So, I'm going to grab my highlighter and my favorite blue highlighter. Let me see if I can find it. So I like to now go through You know, I'm going to switch to my other camera. Hang on one second. Okay, now what I do is I go through my instructions and I mark everything that is background because those are the pieces that you're going to put shape flex on. So this is my badge background and gather background. And there are going to be some other pieces that are going to be background as well. And sometimes the ones that say background don't need shape flex every once in a while. But these are the pieces that we're going to look for and that we're going to pull out. And that should be it. So, and usually they're going to be the larger pieces. So I'm going to grab my larger pieces right now. Most likely these are going to be my background pieces. And the other pieces we can kind of put to the side. What I cut was, is it the gray? Like a light grayish, I guess we could call it. And I accidentally cut it, thinking it was this piece, which was already cut. So I'm going to be one piece short, but that's okay. I think you'll get the gist. You'll get the gist of it. All right, so these are most likely going to be my background pieces, and I will just give this a little check mark that I have it. So, 6.5 by 6.5. Let's grab this one first. This is going to be the flower. They're kind of hard to tell apart, but I'm pretty sure this one's the flower. 8.5 by 6.5. Another good thing you can do is you can grab your ruler. And then you can lay it down on here and you can just confirm. But this is my 8.5 by 6.5. So that is going to be this one right here. Got it. This one, 8.5 by 8.5. My big one, 20.5 by 4.5, which I cut twice, once out of the wrong fabric. This one here, the pecans. Just want to make sure I have everything. 8.5 by 6.5. This is the textured fabric. 8.5 by 8.5. Two of the pinks. So we have an 8.5 by 6.5 and an 8.5 by 8.5. Got it. Two of the browns, 8.5 by 6.5 and 8.5 by 6.5 for both of those. The yellow, where is the yellow? 10.5 by 6.5. And now I'm missing a couple. So this one I'm going to have to cut later. That was the one I accidentally, oh actually no, I have that. 6.5 by 6.5. That's this one right here. There's the one that I accidentally cut into. So I have to cut that one later. Blueberry, have all of those, have all of those, and that makes sense. That's the only one. So I'll have to go back to that. Now that I have all my background pieces, these are my other ones. I'm going to keep these right to the side because we are going to sort those in a little while. Now is where I get out my shape flex. So let me clear this off a little bit. I'm going to grab my shape flex and we're going to go ahead and put shape flex on the back of those background pieces. So shape flex is one of those things. This is a Pellon product. It's shape flex SF101. It's one of those things that I'd recommend you buy by the bolt. And just have it because you're going to use it all the time, whether you're doing Kimberbell projects or an Amy Butler bag pattern. It just gives your projects a little bit more stability. So what I like to do, instead of cutting each one of these pieces individually, is I now grab my all my background pieces and I lay them out. And I go ahead and fuse them down. And then we cut them all apart. And it just makes it really easy. So I will leave maybe about 1/8 of an inch in between the pieces so I can cut there with my rotary cutter. Any more than that, you're going to start getting your iron really gunky. So you don't want to do more than that. And if it doesn't go right to the edge, that's fine too, because all of that usually gets trimmed. So it's almost better if it doesn't go right to the edge. Well, we can just lay this piece out. You kind of just space it out. And if you want, you can use a press cloth to put over it so you can be sure that you don't get it on your iron. The other thing you want to do is you want to make sure, especially underneath these lighter pieces, you want to make sure there's no dark threads because it'll shadow through. So you just want to give it a little check and make sure that you're not going to be seeing those through your fabric. And I'm good with this right now. So I'm going to go ahead and press it down. My iron hot. Let's see if it's hot. Oh yeah, he's getting hot. And I don't worry about pressing it too great around the edges. I kind of want to just give it a little press where it's adhered mostly, because I will, once I cut them apart, I give them another press. Hello. That one kind of moved. Shred it a little bit. Get any wrinkles. And be careful because you don't want to put your iron directly down on the shape flex, but I find that that little 1/8 inch doesn't really get stuck to the iron. Okay, we're going to give it another press once we cut these apart, so don't worry about it. Then I just take it and I fold it up and I move it over, and we're going to lay down the next grouping. And little pieces like this, I use those pieces. They, everything gets used. What do we have left here? This, and I'm going to just do this, and I might use this piece and this piece, and I might put them on the back of this. I will piece some shape flex. Sometimes I'll piece it on the back of pieces, but I usually only do it if they're dark. If they're light colors, it will shadow. But if they're dark colors, you can go ahead and take your leftovers, like what's down here, you can take that and iron it to the back of this. Okay, that's good enough for me. I'm going to take my cutting mat. And a ruler. And I'm going to cut these apart. we'll put this away. Save that for a rainy day. Don't cut the fabric underneath. That is definitely something I would do. And if you don't even want to use a ruler, you don't have to use a ruler. You could just make sure there's nothing under. You can just go ahead and cut in between. And I leave probably that much in between. You can see that, maybe 1/8 of an inch. Something like that. I think I can cut faster with the ruler, and that's why I use it. And again, these are going to get one more press, so don't worry if they're not perfectly adhered down. What happened there? Okay, we're not going to forget that very last piece. I have a big bag of scraps here. These are my Shape Flex scraps, and I put my pieces in there, and I use everything. Everything gets used up. Something like this, if it's less than 1 inch, guess what? I actually do throw things away. Although it pains me, I will throw something like that in the trash. Okay, now that those are cut apart, I'm going to go ahead and Shape Flex, steam or steam will help adhere these even better. So if you want to give them another spray, you can. But now that they're cut apart, press them one more time. Pay attention to directional fabric. Try not to distort it. The more time you put into the prep, the better end result you'll have. So for me, it's worth it to just spend a little extra time making sure everything looks good. I think it's so much easier to do it this way than to cut each size and then match them up. Like to cut 8.5 by 8.5 and find all your 8.5s. I think it's much easier just to lay it out, lay it on there, and press it all, and then cut them apart. But I could be wrong. I want you to do whatever makes your heart happy. So if it makes you happier to measure each one and then adhere them, you can do that. Okay, so these are all done. If they look bubbly, it means they're not adhered, so give them another press. Might as well. And the last thing I need to do, aside from the piece that I can't cut right now, because I'm going to have to run to the store and grab it, we're going to do this piece right here. I have a huge bag of scraps, and I'm sure I have something in here that will fit this. Well, look at this. All right. I'll just go ahead and lay it down this way, and then I'll trim it in just a little bit. And I'm not going to make you watch me just finish this up. Once we're done with this, I'm going to go ahead and cut all my batting, and then we'll be ready to group everything up. So I'll see you back here in a minute. All right, now that that's done, I'm going to go ahead and cut my batting pieces. And if you look here, this is going to tell you the quilt design that you're going to be using and the batting size that you need. The batting size is going to be the same as the final size. So I have all of these scraps here. I was going to go through these first. And these are left over from all sorts of different projects. So let's go ahead and do these. And I'm going to grab my bigger ones first. Like I have a 6 by 10. Oop. I'll take this out. Let's see, 4 by 8, 6 by 10. Those seem to be the biggest, and lots of 6 by 6s. Grab my ruler. And I have 9 inches here, so I don't have enough, but I do have a bunch of 4 by 6s and 6 by 6s, and there is a 4 by 8. Let's go ahead and cut that one first. That is going to be the biggest one that I have. So we'll do, and these don't have to be perfect. By 8. I need a whole bunch of 6 by 6s. What else do I have in here? I can do 4 by 6s. And this one here. So I'm literally just going to go through all of this. Here is, don't want to cut that. That was one of the pieces I just cut. So I have a 4 by 6 here. So I'm just going to go through my pieces and I will cut whatever I have here. And then I do have some larger pieces that I can go through. This looks like this will work for a 4 by 6. A lot of these are left over from binding, or not the binding, but when I go ahead and do a quilt and I have excess 4 by 6. Let's see how many 4 by 6s I need. And we'll go ahead and mark these off too. So I have my 4 by 8, 4 by 6. And I did another 4x6. Let's get some more 4x6s. There's a 4x6, and I think I can squeeze a 4x4 out of this. 4x4. 1, 2, 3, 4x8. So I have 1, 2, 3, and a 4x4. Need another 4x4. And actually I can do a 4x6 out of this. Keep those scraps. They come in handy. Why not use them all up? And I think I can get a 4x4 out of this. Yes, I can. 4x4 on this side. So I'm not going to make you watch this whole thing, but I'm going to go ahead and cut all my batting pieces, and then we will be ready to group. Okay, now we are ready to put everything together. So I am just going to go page by page. I don't really cut my embellishments until later. So for this one, we're going to have our background fabric, which is, and if it's hard to tell for you, I'm going to look at this page too. So the badge, that's going to be my coconut cream, and it's 6.5 by 6.5. Let me grab my pieces here. And I need my 6.5 by 6.5. My ribbon, fabric 2 is, and I'm really having trouble telling, so ribbon, badge ribbon. So I need one that's going to be the floral. And the floral piece is 3.5 by 3. So we're going to have this one. You're also going to need your background. Your batting's going to be 6 by 6. So that's my badge ribbon. And badge, badge, white on white, so the polka dot and polka dot. That's going to be another one. Okay, I had to figure it out. So this is going to be for the ribbon. And then the white on white is going to be for this circle, and it should be 3 inches by 3 inches. It's always a good time to just keep a ruler so you can just measure it really quickly. So that's going to be the circle. And then this is the ribbon. And embroidery felt in granite. And a lot of times, sometimes I'll just leave that and grab it later, but you know what, while we're at it, let's just do it now. And I am not going to cut it to size. I will leave it as is for this one, and this is going to be granite. When it gets used for the next one, I'll just have it for the next one. And that should be it. I'm going to go ahead and use my Sharpie. We're going to do badge. And I'll just write badge here. I know some people that just bag everything up, and you can do that too. So I just do this. I grab my Wonder Clips, and this one is set and ready to go. Next, let's do the next one. Okay, this one is going to be apple. The background is going to be the brown, 8.5 by 6.5. So our backing is going to be final size for this one. So that was badge. Oh, you know what? That was the wrong size batting. It's going to be 4 by 4. Let me grab 4 by 4. You think it's going to be so much bigger, but it's not. Okay. Apple. It's going to be 4 by 6. Piece of 4 by 6. Here's our background fabric. And that's going to be 4 by 6. You're going to have ice cream, which is 2.5 by 2. We're looking for apple ice cream. Apple ice cream is going to be the coconut cream, 2.5 by 2. This looks like 2.5 by 2. That is 2 and 2.5. I'm just going to stack it right here. White embroidery leather for the plate. Again, most likely I won't even cut into this. I have a whole plastic tote that's filled with all sorts of embroidery leather and stuff that I have from other kits. Shortbread embroidery felt filling, which is 4.5 by 2. And the shortbread, I can't tell which color they want. Shortbread felt. So let's look it up. Gingerbread, graham cracker, and this one is apple. So it is, so this is a new color, I think, graham cracker. So gingerbread, and I think graham cracker is going to be the one that's a little bit, let's pull these out. So we have 3 different colors here. And it looks like graham cracker is going to be this one on the bottom, and shortbread is going to be the one that's a little bit whiter on the top. And I will confirm that. This is darker. These two. I'll confirm that and we'll make sure before we start the class. If you look here in the back, six and a half by 11, that's going to be gingerbread. Okay, so this one is gingerbread. Then we have the biggest piece, 11.5 by 14. This one is shortbread. So this is shortbread and this is graham cracker. So let's mark these here. So this one is gingerbread. The biggest piece is going to be shortbread, and the biggest piece is also the lightest. And then the medium colored one, that one is going to be graham cracker. And I know I'm going to get confused, so I'll probably keep that right where I can get to it. So for this one, we need shortbread and graham cracker. So these are the two we need. I'm going to put this right here. The last thing you're also going to need is you're going to need some flex foam. And the flex foam is going to be 2.5 by 2. I will cut that and put that with the kit as well. This is going to be apple. Or we'll just kind of lay it down as we go probably. So here's apple. And we'll put that one to the side. Next, now that we figured out what color is what color for the felt, chocolate. So the background is going to be this 6.5 by 8.5 herringbone. Here we go. The plate. Plate is 6 by 3. This is chocolate plate. Chocolate plate. Chocolate filling. Chocolate plate. 6 by 3. Here we go. And our batting piece for the chocolate is going to be 4 by 6. Here's our batting piece. That is our plate. Filling bottom looks like the purple. Chocolate filling bottom is 4 by 1.5. This is probably going to be 4 by 1.5. 4 by 1.5. That's the chocolate filling bottom. Filling middle is, looks like the graham cracker one. I see you. This is going to be the next one. Filling bottom. Chocolate filling middle. And then whipped cream. Oh, I thought it was going to be chocolate whipped cream 4 by 2. And that looks like white on white. White on white, 4 by 2. I'm going to get organized over here a little bit. Hang on a sec. Okay, I got a little organized there, so now everything is kind of laid out and it'll be easier for me to find. So I needed the whipped cream, which was 4 by 2 inches, and this looks like this could be 4 by 2 inches. Here's 2 and 4, that is it. Put this with there. With the other stuff, that's my whipped cream. Gingerbread embroidery felt. This is the first time I think I'm using gingerbread. And again, if you look at the back, I marked it. There's my gingerbread. So that is the darker piece. And we're going to need some flexi foam too. I will add the flexi foam. And this is going to be chocolate. Okay, next one. Next one is going to be Razzleberry. So we need a 4 by 6 piece of batting. Razzleberry is going to be and we're just going to put this all together, ladies. So here's our background piece. Our background looks like the pink. And it's 8.5 by 6.5. Here's one piece of pink, and here's the other. 8.5 by 6.5. Filling. Filling looks like 4 by 2, and it is this. And here's my It's funny to think that it's only going to be this big. All of this other stuff around it's going to get cut off. So they give you lots of extra fabric. Cream is 2.5 by 2.5. Let's see what we're using for our cream. I should mark it off so I don't get confused too. This is in our cream. Razzleberry cream is going to be 2.5 by 2.5, and it's one of these little guys right here. White embroidery leather. Let me see if I have that. I think I already put that with something else. So white embroidery leather, we'll grab that later. Graham crackers already with something else. Iron on vinyl. So let's grab our iron on vinyl. And that's probably going to go on the plate, I'm thinking. I'm not going to cut it yet. We'll cut it as we go. And then the flex foam for the cream base. So I've got my filling, my cream. All right, this is going to be Razzleberry. Next, lemon, 4x6. As long as you have most of the things, we can kind of pull some of the stuff as we go. Here's lemon. Our background looks like the one fabric that I don't have because I miscut. And that is going to be this one right here. So I don't have my background. So I'll have to add that later, but this goes with the lemon. We need our plate, and our plate is 6 by 3.5. Let's see what our plate is. Lemon plate, that's the coconut cream. So we need a piece that's 6 by 3.5. I'm going to go ahead and cross it off. Here's our plate. Our filling is 4 by 1.5. Let's see what the filling is. Is that my meringue? I think it is. Okay, so the meringue is going to be white and 4 by 2.5. That looks like 4 by 2.5. 4 by 2.5. Indeed it is. This is the white dots. There, we can see it there. Oh, that was my meringue. The filling is, so there should be another filling. So we got to find that, and it's 4 by 1.5. And I'm looking to see what could be 4 by 1.5. Lemon meringue. Lemon plate, lemon filling. That is going to be yellow. Got it. Here it is right here. Filling, meringue, gingerbread, and then the flex foam. And of course, I need to add my backing. We had a huge sale on fabric in the store this week, so hopefully I didn't sell out of that color. I think it's cash. That is lemon. Let's go on to the next one. Pumpkin. Looks like it is on a pink background, but let's just confirm. Pumpkin. So it's 8.5 by 8.5. We are now going to add 6 by 6. cream, 2.5 by 2.5. Feeling a little bit more in the groove now. Pumpkin cream, which is the coconut cream, the off-white. So 2.5 by 2.5 right here. Orange velveteen. All right, anytime you have velveteen, and that is not the right velveteen, you are going to put shape flex on the back. If you don't, you run the risk of it shredding. So I want to add to my list of things to do to cut some shape flex. And the orange velveteen is 5.5 by 5.5. So I'm going to just put a note on here. Add 5.5 by 5.5. Shape flex SF 101 to orange velveteen. So I will cut this and I will put that on the back of that. That's a note that I'll add to your prep as well. So we'll go ahead and just put it with this for now. Velveteen is finicky. So I'm going to put this with this. We'll trim that. Shortbread embroidery crest. We don't have that. And then our flex foam. So this is going to be pumpkin. And I don't like getting this tape on the batting. I'm going to put this in a different pile because I'm not done with that. I'm going to be adding to that. All right, next. Cherry pie. Cherry pie is going to be your background, which is, let's see. Cherry background. That one is the texture. That one's texture. So we are looking for 8.5 by 8.5. We can confirm that too and just make sure. Eight and a half by 8.5. Yeah, that'll be texture. So this is going to be for that. You're going to need batting. That is 6.5 by 6.5. Fabric filling is 5 by 5, and that looks like the cherry fabric. Let's mark it off. And embroidery felt. The graham cracker embroidery felt, we're going to need that for the crust and the lattice crust. And iron-on vinyl is with another kit, so this is going to be it for now. And this is cherry. Pecan, or pecan. I know different people say it differently. We need our striped piece of fabric, our background fabric. Orange velveteen, so we're going to have to put some orange velveteen with this too. Gingerbread embroidery felt, and silver embroidery leather. We'll go ahead and grab the leather. And we also need our 6.5 by 6.5 inch batting. And this is going to be pecan. I think Patrick told me that's his favorite pie. I'd never even had pecan pie until recently. It's pretty good. Kind of sweet. All right. So there we go. Blueberry is next. Background fabric is going to be this one. We need a 6.5 by 6.5 inch piece of batting. Filling is going to be this blue piece right here. Let's mark it off. And embroidery felt, that's the shortbread one. Silvers with the other one. That's going to be it for now. This is blueberry. It was so thick, I had to staple it separately. Here's the next section. 6 square. So your 6 square is going to be piece A and piece B. And piece A, 8 by 2.5. And then we also need this one, 8 by 2.5. We're going to be quilting this later. And our piece of batting for this 6 square is going to be 4 by 6. This is our 6 square, so 4 by 6. And I think that's going to be it. Let's go ahead and this is oh, look at that. How's that? Is that better? Started to panic. I thought I was plugged in this whole time. It was plugged into the phone, but not into the cord. It's not into the plug. Okay, here's 6 square. Mixer! Okay, mixer background is the 12.5 by 8.5 piece. And that one is, oh look, we can open it up to here too, because now we're in 2 separate packs. 12.5 by 8.5. That is, well, that is the cash, which means, what am I missing for the other one? There was a different one that I was missing. I'm going to have to figure that out. Oh, okay, this one. I am missing that. So the mixer is going to be on that big piece. Do I have a 12.5 by 8.5? I don't. And then we need whipped cream, which is 3.5 by 4. That's going to be... This is 3.5 by 2.5. That's not it. 3.5 by 4. Let's look at whipped cream. Mixer whipped cream is the coconut cream, and it's going to be this one. 3.5 by 4. Okay, here's my whipped cream. Mixer is 4 by 5. This is the mixer. Cream carton is 2.5 by 4.5. Two and a half by 4.5. Cream carton label, 2.5 by 2.5, and I should be marking these off. So this is 4.5 by 3.5, 4 by 5, and mixer carton 2.5 by 4.5. And then finally, I need mixer label, mixer carton label, white on white, 2.5 by 2.5, white on white, 2.5 by 2.5, and then leather. That's going to be with the other stuff. And then we're also going to need our biggest piece of batting, which is mixer, 6 by 10, which is this piece right here. And this is going to be mixer, and I need background fabric. Okay. Gather. Gather is going to be that long piece. Let's grab that. And for our batting, gather quilting. So we need, and this was purposely a lot thicker. It's going to be our 2-inch piece. So I can go ahead and put this with it. Here's my 2-inch. I cut a couple of them. Maybe this one is going to be more appropriate. And I think that is going to be it. So this one's gather. We're getting to the end. Here's 4 square. It's going to be 5.5 by 2.5 and 5.5 by 2.5. And 4 square, we are going to need a 4x4 piece. Here's my 4x4 piece. 4 square. Ingredients. Here's my background piece. The flour is flour. So this is ingredients, right? Measuring cup. That's not what I want. I want ingredients, flour right here. So it's going to be cash, which is this. And what is my, so this is ingredients. We need a 4x6 piece. Grab that and go ahead and put it up here. Put this with it. There's lots of different things in this. So ingredients, flour, 3x4. Measuring cup is 3.5 by 2.5. Measuring cup is white and white. 3.5 by 2.5. That looks about right. 3.5 by 2.5. We also need liquid. The liquid is ingredient liquid. Oh, that looks like it is the green. So ingredient liquid, 2 by 2.5. And clear vinyl, white embroidery, leather, and twine. We are done with this one. Ingredients. If you like organizing stuff, then you'll probably enjoy this part. I love that I can just grab my stuff and it's ready. That's what I really appreciate about this whole process. Okay, here's our rolling pin. grab that. We need our embroidery, brown embroidery leather, which I didn't think I grabbed yet. Oh, there we go. Ooh, this is kind of nice. And it looks like we're also going to need, so this one is our rolling pin. We need 4 by 8 for our batting. Our leather, and then our cork. So we get a bunch of special stuff that goes with this. And I think that's it. I think I have some cork from something else as well. This is going to be rolling pin. Oh, that's going to be fun. Square in square. All right. So we're going to have a bunch of stuff for this. So square in square. This one is going to, and you're going to need some more velveteen for this one too. So we have 3 velveteens. So square in square. And there was one other thing. I'll have to look back. Square in square. We'll have to go back to that. So we're going to have to prep that velveteen with your, this square and square one needs orange velveteen. Middle square is 2 by 3. And there's 8 of those. All right. So block A, outer square, we need 2.5 by 4.5, and we need 8. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think I had cut one extra. Okay, so we need that, and the inner square for this is square in square. Square in square, see outer, square in square. This one is going to be the one with this. So this is going to be inner, this, and then we're going to have to put the velveteen. So I'm going to go square, I'm going to go S in S, block A. I'm going to have to come back to this one because we need our velveteen, and we need it stabilized first. Don't trust it. Square in square. And we're going to, you don't need to worry about the batting because these are going to get sewn together for the sides, and then you will add the batting, which is going to be the 4 inches. So I'm going to put that one to the side as well. The next one, we need 8 of these. Our inner block is going to be one of these, and then we need 8 of these. This is going to be the next one. Put that to the side. That is going to be square in square, block B. This one. The center is blush velveteen for this one. So we are going to have to go and prep this. Blush velveteen for the center, for the middle and the outer. The outer ones are going to be, it looks like outer block C. This is going to be square and square, outer square borders. Texture, this one right here. Square and square, block C. And then the last one, that's going to be my center. These are going to be my outers. And these are going to be my outer outers. And I'll just put it together like this. Square and square, block, oops, D. Oops. Hopefully you'll get the picture. Alrighty. Oh, and so there should be 2 of these. It says square and square, 2 3.5 by 3.5s. And for block B, 2 3.5 by 3.5s. Let's make sure I have all the right ones. The velveteen, we are going to have to cut 2 of those. And then the very top one, which has the inner square, block A. Here's block A. And it looks like inner square, the flower. I need another one of those, don't I? So we need to cut another one of these if I don't find it. So we'll have to do that too. Okay, I will find that. Let's pull that fabric out so I don't forget. That fabric is so cute. I just love it. Here's all my little goodies back in the box. There's a little piece, but we need a bigger piece. I will find it. Let me look for that one. All right. Onward and upward. That is it. This is when I go, all right, I have some extra stuff. So this is white on white. And I have a 3.5 by 3.5, which goes with the dimensional badge. So this goes with the dimensional badge. So it's good to be able to check. See what we have left here. And I have one of these left. This also goes to the dimensional badge. So we'll go ahead and put these together. This is the lemon background. So I thought it was something else. So let me go ahead and find my lemon. Here we go. So we don't need the background for that. We need the background for the mixer. And we just did that dimensional badge. At 16th square and square, I have that. And there should be 2 of them. This is where I check myself and make sure I have everything. 2 of those. This is what I need right here. Square and square. I'm also missing, this too. I'm missing one of these. Outers, got it. Square and square, got it. 4 square, I had that. Let's just make sure. Yep, got that. 6 square, had that. Square and square outer, got that. Dimensional badge circle, I remember that one. And the chocolate whipped cream, I had that too. And the apple ice cream, I had that too. All right. Square and square, I had all 8 of those. And I had all of those. And then I had both of these. Fat 16th for the square and square, I had all 8 of those. Or I'm going to have to cut those. That is D outer, A, oh, I've got all of those already cut, and I have this in the back. So we are done. What I need to do right now is just a couple of things that I've circled. I am going to go ahead and shape flex the back of my velveteen, but everything else is ready to go. So what you should have is you should have all of these. If you want to also have your flex foam cut and ready to go, you can do that too, or you can lay it down as we are stitching. But my friends, we are ready. Our first sew along is going to be next Monday. I can't remember the date, but it's going to be next Monday, and it is going to be from 10 to 1 o'clock. I will send something, and we'll put something on our Facebook page, and we'll also post it onto our YouTube page, so we'll have all of that. You do have a little bit of homework. The only thing that you're going to need to do before we get together is, let me grab the sheet. You need to, and I put your pre-class homework here, you're going to need to stitch out Cherry Part A and Blueberry Part A. And what that is that's going to be on some dissolve away. That way we can just print, or we can just go ahead and stitch. It's for the lattice on both of these pies. So if you look on page 21, I'm going to do it in 1 hooping in a 6x10. And I will go ahead and post that video so it'll be done. So if you've never done that before, you'll have the video. But it looks like bacon strips, doesn't it? So you're going to do them for the cherry pie and for the blueberry pie. So that needs to be done ahead of time. The other thing that has to be done is your 6 square block from page 29 should be put together. So if you look at page 29... which isn't in this section, but it's in this section, you are going to go ahead and put that together. So that is, we're going to have to cut it and piece it. So make sure you go ahead and you have that done, and then we will be ready to go. So thank you so much for joining me. I hope this made sense and you have everything put together. I will see you on, not this Monday, but next Monday. I think it's the 19th. The spreadsheet is ready to go. I will post that to Facebook. And get ready to be hungry as we stitch out Kimberbell's Sweet as Pie Bench Pillow. See you later, guys.